ever had incidents like what happened?
Okay, because you guys never tell anybody will ever step up and finally fight back towards what was happening in this country.
We weren't fighting against that.
Either way, that doesn't have anything to do with you leasing this place. Like,
I was tired of not hearing the voices heard. You would get mad at me for other people preaching. I was protesting the right way.
Well,
why get mad at me then? But you say so you're not okay with the riot, and also you're not okay with me peacefully protesting?
Hey,
is that your concern?
I'll just tell you flat out, if there's something illegally going on at a place that I'm at, I don't want to be a part of it. I'm personally going to leave.
But there's two different
That's all.
groups.
There's two
different groups. There's groups
I don't know.
riot,
I don't know anything about it. All I know is that if someone's doing something illegally someplace,
but what does that have to do with him?
You saw me in Israel. Would you enter illegally?
No, I'm not saying you did. All I'm saying is that I think it's poor judgment to be at a place where something illegally is going on, whether you're part of it or not.
We didn't think it was going to happen. We're there for peaceful protest.
That's what I'm saying. When it happens, I leave. I'm out of there. I don't want my face associated with something that's going on.
Okay, and
that's what we're with the news reporter. We're not with the guys who was out there doing it.
Hey, I can't interpret.
Let's go.
he is not making sense.
I'm still shocked, Dave. I really am. I'm really shocked. But thank you.
Okay, so y'all just heard that audio right there, and shout out to Ashton for sending me the article attached to it. And this is absolutely ridiculous. Now what's so crazy is that this is a direct violation of this black man's First Amendment right, which is the freedom of speech. So basically what happened, and this is out of Des Moines, Iowa, by the way. You have this guy on the right whose name is Jeremiah Johnson, and he's the owner of something called Stylent Brands. And he went to a peaceful protest, in support of George Floyd. His landlord, this piece of shit right here, who looks like roadkill, who came back to life, saw him at the protest. I guess he probably saw him on the news or something like that. And he confronted Jeremiah and basically was saying that we're releasing your lease for this spot because we saw you at this peaceful protest. Now, mind you, here's where the violation of his freedom of speech comes in. This individual claims that it was violence and that he was basically accusing him of being one of the rioters or one of the looters and anything like that. But he saw him there and he wasn't doing anything. Like, he was just there peaceful protesting with the other people who were doing that. But he just made up in his mind that because he was there, he had to be associated with the looters and the rioters. Honestly speaking, I truly believe that this landlord, whoever this guy is, already had an issue with Jeremiah before this. And he was just looking for a reason to release him from his lease in the building, in the spot that he was holding for his company, for his business. That's what I truly believe. Like, if you listen to his tone, and he was very dismissive. He was very dismissive. And this is from a group of people who love to preach and talk about that First Amendment right. They listen, if it's any amendment that palm colored people love, it's that First and Second Amendment. The First Amendment, the freedom of speech, and the second, right to bear arms. If the Constitution could only be those two amendments, they would be perfectly A-okay with that. Because that's the only two, as far as I know, that they love to push and quote so much, especially on social media when it comes to that First Amendment. But that's messed up, though, because, like, he's trying to explain to him what happened, but he's being, like I said, dismissive of it, and he's not trying to hear any of it. And he even had people around him basically saying, like, you was wrong and everything like that, because it was a woman who was recording it. And then it was another guy that came toward the end that was just basically telling him, just come back because he's not listening. It's like talking to a brick wall. And like I said, I truly believe he had an issue with him before this, but he needed a reason to release him from his lease. And this was his reasoning. But like I said, this was definitely a violation of his First Amendment rights, which is the right to freedom of speech. Now, when I was reading on with the article, I believe that Jeremiah did seek some legal action. The video did go viral, so people do know about this. I don't know what has come of the landlord. It says that the the video on Twitter got like 3.9 million views, but that was a few days ago because this video is it actually came out a few days ago, and I'm recording this on June 11th, and the article was posted on June 10th. And they said that he took it to court but has no response yet. He sent an email to us, and he's talking about the landlord, saying we are protesting for rights and respect we haven't earned. That's what he said in a text message from the landlord to Jeremiah. He said, we are protesting for rights and respect we haven't earned. He's basically telling you that us as black people are wasting our time protesting because we are not going to get these rights because he feels that we have not earned them. And there, right there, his racist nature came smooth right on out of him. And it didn't take much to do it. He probably felt the scrutiny. People probably found out who he is. And he went on to say, he said, like, seriously, the only rights I care about is my human rights. If it's not valued because of my skin color, then I don't care about any rights. He says, we live in a day and age where people demand rights who have never earned anything or done anything to deserve them, let alone respect. That's basically the whole scope of the text right there. So he feels that Jeremiah going down to that protest to march or whatever he was doing down there for George Floyd was wrong because black people in this establishment have not earned any respect or earned any rights. Well, considering how this establishment has been treating us for the last 400 and plus umpteenth years, we have not gotten any respect from this goddamn thing known as America. And it's mainly because of people like this landlord. I hope they find out what the name of his, building is, and they shut that shit the fuck down. And as for Jeremiah Johnson, who is the one in the blue, hopefully he can find another spot to place his business in, and hopefully he gets more traction toward his business, because that was absolutely uncalled for and ridiculous. That's exactly why, like I said, it's an us versus them world that we live in. Like I said, this was a huge violation of the First Amendment right, but these are the same group of people that love to preach that First Amendment right like it's running out of style.